Presenting Secrets of Jon Bensen's 1640 Preface. This video will take another look at the 1640 collection of poems written by Wil Shakespeare, Gent. In two previous videos, I've looked at William Marshall's portrait, which is actually a puzzle portrait at the frontispiece, as well as what I call the shadow poem beneath it. This is the preface to the reader. I here presume, under favor, to present to your view some excellent and sweetly composed poems of Master William Shakespeare, which in themselves appear of the same purity the author himself then living avouched. They had not the fortune, by reason of their infancy in his death, to have the due accommodatio of proportionable glory with the rest of his ever-living works. Yet the line of themselves will afford you a more authentic approbation than my assurance anyway can. To invite your allowance in your perusal, you shall find them serene, clear, and elegantly plain, such gentle strains as shall recreate and not perplex your brain, nor intricate or cloudy stuff to puzzle intellect, but perfect eloquence, such as will raise your admiration to his praise. This assurance, I know, will not differ from your acknowledgment, and certain I am, my opinion will be seconded by the sufficiency of these ensuing lines. I have been somewhat felicitous to bring this forth to the perfect view of all men, and in so doing, glad to be serviceable for the continuance of glory to the deserved author of these poems. This is how it actually looks in the original text. To solve most of the puzzles, we're going to do some simple counts and gematria sums. Of course, we're using the 23-letter Latin alphabet gematria values and also the Latin alphabet repeating count. Our first puzzle. The gematria sum of the very first two uppercase letters, including the decorative initial, is 17. The gematria sum of the uppercase letters to the name William Shakespeare is 44. The lines that include William Shakespeare and which have an uppercase gematria sum of 98. The word count for all words is 269. We do not count the header. There is an uppercase letter count in the entire piece of 17. This is what alerted me to the presence of more puzzles and clues in the authorship game. Here is how it is actually split up. In our next puzzle, the gematria sum of 72 is on the header, the uppercase letters of the header. We subtract the number of words to get 66. VVV is the letter value in the Latin alphabet repeating count. Next, we take a gematria sum of uppercase Roman letters, excluding the decorative initial, and we get a gematria sum of 159. We add the number of Roman words, in which I and B are counted as 2, we get 170. William is the 17th word, not in brackets, in the preface. It has a gematria sum of 76. But when we subtract this number of words, that is the words within the bracket and the only Roman words within the text of the preface, and we still do not count the decorative I, we get 71. The letter count within the Roman letters plus the letters, or words rather, which are in the brackets is 34. Author is the 17th word from the semicolon in the final sentence On this line, there are 34 letters before the word will. William and Will are both on line 5 on their respective pages. 17 italic lowercase letters surround the decorative I and touch the frame. Ever living is the 40th word after Shakespeare. 11 counts involve 17 in some way. 5 are the actual number. 2 are double the number. 1 is 10 times the number. 1 is the number's mirror. 2 are digit sum numbers that add to 17. 3 numbers are alternate code numbers for the author. 40, the very rarely seen 44, and more common 66. Next, if we see these as Roman numerals, all the uppercase I's and the uppercase W's within the text, excluding the decorative I again, their sum is 34. Giving us another example of the trias omnia principle. We have 3 times 34. Get the idea? Now let's do some reading within the text. Bensen begins by saying the poems are apparently excellent and sweet. I here presume, under favor, to present to your view some excellent and sweetly composed poems of Master William Shakespeare, which in themselves appear of the same purity. The editor says the author approved of these poems. The author himself, then living, avouched. Because of the author's death, they could not be published. They had not the fortune, by reason of their infancy in his death, to have the due accommodation of a proportionable glory with his other works, with the rest of his ever-living works. Notice, ever-living indicates a deceased writer. But the poems will show readers how excellent and sweet they are. Yet the lines of themselves will afford you a more authentic approbation than my assurance any way can to invite your allowance. He continues, in your perusal you shall find them serene, clear, and elegantly plain. But Bensen makes too much of puzzles. He says, such gentle strains as shall recreate and not perplex your brain, no intricate or cloudy stuff to puzzle intellect, but perfect eloquence. That's a hint that there are puzzles here. He means this ironically. But he continues. He uses a partial rhyme here, which is called paronomasia, strains and brain. And another partial rhyme here, puzzle and will, which are seen on the right-hand margin of the text. He uses a full rhyme here for homoteleuton. Raise your admiration to his praise. Raise and praise, rhyme. He is confident readers will recognize his scheme. He says, this assurance I know will not differ from your acknowledgement. The next few lines will confirm this. He says, and certain I am, my opinion will be seconded by the sufficiency of these ensuing lines. He tells us the obvious here. I have been somewhat felicitous to bring this forth to the perfect view of all men. In our next little puzzle, we add the number of words from the first semicolon in the last sentence to the end of the paragraph. Then add the gematria sum of uppercase letters in the entire box to that. To get a clue who the, quote, deserved author, unquote, is. The sum is 73, which in the Latin alphabet repeating count is D, 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 D. 4D is a homophone of the number 40. As we can see, this hides another 1740 illusion in that there are 17 italic lowercase letters surrounding the decorative Roman I. Or, in the yellow box, add the number of words to the gematria sum. Then subtract the gematria sum of uppercase letters in the red box, the I and the B. The remainder is 51, or 17 times 3. Get the idea? 10 solutions now are multiples of 17. 2 are digit sum numbers whose digits add to 17. One solution is the mirror of 17. 1 is 40, and a Latin alphabet repeating count homophone of 40, 73, which is D, 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 D. How many times do these numbers have to appear before they are significant? Once is by chance. Twice may be a coincidence. More than 3 times means someone has planned this. 11 individual numbers identify the real author quite easily. Edward de Vere, the 17th Earl of Oxford. Shakespeare was his pen name. Thank you for watching. Stay safe.